There is a rich history of filmmaking in the First Coast and Golden Isles region. In fact, the Norman Studios, which opened in the early 1920s, focused on African American filmmaking, including the westerns of the time. Many people at some point called the First Coast the silent film capital of the world. Why is it no longer in this region? The religious groups in the late 1920s were unhappy with the behavior of many of the movie stars that came down here to film. The First Coast was referred to as the winter film capital due to the beautiful climate and the variety of the locales. The producers could scout out the beaches area, the river area. There were swamps available. There were beautiful big buildings in the city. There were historic landmarks. The variety that was available to the producers was incredible. Is the film industry still important in Jacksonville? Absolutely. The Norman Studios, the home of the African American filming in the 1920s, is being looked at as a possible museum. In fact, it has now filed to be recognized as a National Historic Landmark. Also, the Jacksonville Film Festival goes on every year, bringing in producers, directors, and stars of film and screen from around the world. There are a plethora of films that have been produced in the First Coast and Golden Isles region. If you travel up from Jacksonville to Jekyll Island, Georgia, you'll find the following locations. If you go to a hotel bar, you'll find the filming of Legend of Bagger Vance starring Will Smith. If you step right out from the hotel onto the beach, you'll find the scene of the final siege on the fort in the movie Glory, starring Denzel Washington. In fact, just a little extra tidbit of interest is one of the local premieres of the movie Glory was right in Jacksonville at the old historic Florida Theater. X-Men First Class was also filmed on the beach in that location. And as you leave Jekyll Island, going towards St. Simon Island, you'll find yourself traveling on the same highway where Magic Mike XXL scenes were also filmed. Going on to St. Simon's Island, you'll find yourself on the historic pier, and there the pier itself was used in Anchorman 2, starring Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd of Ant-Man fame. Continuing our journey in the film industry, we approach the Isle of Eight Flags, Fernandina Beach, Florida. Numerous films have their locations in Fernandina Beach, including the children's favorite, The New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking. The house where Pippi and her father lived is still available to be seen in Fernandina Beach today. Also filmed in the Fernandina Beach area was the Denzel Washington film Manchurian Candidate. This was Denzel's return to the First Coast for yet another of his wonderful films. Slightly south of Fernandina Beach is the historic American Beach, the first beach for African Americans on the First Coast. Angela Bassett brought a little bit of that history back to the area when she filmed Sunshine State. Continuing south towards Jacksonville is an area known as Huguenot Park. When Demi Moore was filming G.I. Jane, the Mayport Naval Station could not serve as a backdrop for the film due to the military restrictions. However, the beach area could be used, and of course the ships at Mayport are definitely seen in the background. Filmed in that area was also Basic, the film starring John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson. Jacksonville's South Bank and downtown area, separated by the St. Johns River, is the site of numerous film locations. Kevin Spacey filmed at the River Place Tower the movie Recount. He used the tower to serve as Miami's federal building. A current restaurant location was the site for The Creature from the Black Lagoon and The Revenge of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, both of which you can still see if you eat right at that restaurant on the St. Johns River. You Too Can Eat, where the creature emerged from the river. Tigerland, starring Colin Farrell, was filmed at the historic Florida Theater, the location of the Glory premiere mentioned earlier. Devil's Advocate, starring Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino, was filmed in the Riverside area of Jacksonville as his New York office. Excitement continues in the film industry as the next wave of films are currently being produced and developed. Brunswick, Georgia is the site of Live by Night, the current film produced and directed by Ben Affleck. The film is expected in theaters in the year 2017. So for all the film fans out there, be sure to come out and scout out the First Coast and the Golden Isles. Be sure to come and find some of your favorite movie locations.